Second half I was, yeah. You can't give any team in this competition 20 points head start, not alone Huddersfield Giants. Pleasing about the second half. It's probably been a little bit different to what it has been the last 4 or 5 weeks. We've actually been winning the first half and losing the second half, so certainly pleasing in the second half.
Yeah, and when you got those 2 tries, you know, we started to dream a bit.
Yeah, I guess you could call it a dream. I just wish these guys knew. I had the faith that I had in them, and I guess if you ask the people here today, that didn't support London or did support rugby league, would you have taken 38-22? A lot of people probably would have said yes. So that's probably where we are at the moment. Our boys are very disappointed. We bombed 3 tries, or we had 3 breaks in the first 11 minutes of that first half before we scored a try. So who knows if we scored those tries early. And that's not a lack of disrespect to Paul Anderson and the Giants. I thought they were tremendous in that first half. It was just, we had a bit more ball, and we decided to do what we practiced at training.
How's James Cunningham?
Yeah, he got knocked out cold, so he'll have to do the cog test, and there are certain procedures and guidelines now. So he's got a bit of a cut lip, so he might get some stitches in his lips, but the doc said he was knocked out cold, so he won't train
himself.
Yeah, no, he's fine. He's talking okay. He's communicating okay. He's going to be a bit groggy tonight, but we got a 3.5 hour bus trip, so I'm sure we'll be right.
Okay.
But that must encourage the boys for going into next week then.
Yeah, it is. Like and I think it's a little bit about the last couple of press releases. It's a little bit about where we are. We haven't got the ability to play for, or we don't have the ability to play for 80 minutes, and it's something that we're going to struggle with until we do that. Once we crack that, once we learn how to win, and once we learn how to play for 80 minutes, we've still got 10 games to go. And I can tell you there's some players in that room, hand on heart, that feel that they can win every 10. And that's generally, and that's straight from the horse's mouth when I came out. And that's the belief that some of our players have in that dressing room.
Where was your regular fullback, Matty Tonga?
Matty Tonga, he tore his hamstring. Ben Farah firstly injured his hamstring. Yeah. And last week, Nezi Matty Tonga was replaced because he injured his ankle, and both the fullbacks were unavailable for selection today. So Ilias McCartney jumped there and thought he did a pretty good job today.
All good. If you got desire to finish off the bottom, I mean that'd be great, wouldn't it? Even if you go down, with all respect, it'd be great not to finish bottom. I mean, is that something the boys have spoken about? Have you still got desire, realistic hopes of staying up?
Well, it's funny. Someone mentioned me today. What about if Bradford need to win the last game to get into the top 8, and you had to win? Like, wow. But yeah, that's my ambition. I've got 2. Obviously, there's a defensive ambition, and obviously to win a game and not finish wooden spoon. It's something that no one wants, but there's got to be a wooden spooner everywhere in every competition, any sport in the world. So there's certainly 2 things from a defensive aspect since I've taken over, and certainly we'd love not to finish wooden spoon.
Last game against Bradford could be your cup final, couldn't it?
Yeah, well, it could be, and but it is what it is. We've got a plan A and a plan B and a plan C. So we're actively recruiting. We're targeting players that can play Super League, and if things happen differently, we're certainly going to have some quality players wherever we are.
How much a vote of confidence is it that Nick Slaney signed extension to his contract?
Yeah, massive. He's just such a great character. And a lot of people don't see he's actually a pretty shy person away from the footy field, but in the footy field he's a really, really nice fella. He's got a fantastic partner, and he's just a natural leader. And being a Queenslander, I can say that because we won the State of Origin now after 9 years, but being a Queenslander, that's a little bit about him. He's a bit of a country larrikin from Queensland, but loves his footy, loves life, and will let someone know if they're cutting some corners. And that's what I like about him. He's a natural leader. So it's very encouraging, and we'll be making a couple of more announcements. We've just about agreed and signed 2 Australian NRL players to come over for next year. So, and part of that is just signing the good players here. So to answer your question, he's been fabulous for me and for our club.
What's Kieran Dixon up to next season?
Excuse me?
Kieran Dixon.
We're still in negotiations with Kieran. Kieran's talking to a number of clubs, I understand, and we're just going through the process with his player agent. We'd certainly love Kieran, but he's coming through a pretty horrendous injury, ACL, PCL, but he's 6 weeks ahead of schedule, so he should be available for selection, given the surgeon okays him in about 5 weeks. So, but there's no doubt in the world that we'd love to have Kieran at our club in whatever competition we play in.
Everyone's talked about Mason Caton Brown recently. Is there any chance that he would stay with you if
No.
you got relegated?
No, there's no chance he'll stay at the Broncos, and I can't say too much more than that.
Any more questions?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.